Sup, it's your Maude Queen Garrett bringing you all the final episode recap for Game of Thrones. Dun 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 dun. Now, the finale starts off with Tyrion, Jon, and Davos walking through the ashes of King's Landing following the absolutely devastating attack that Dany and Drogon brought last episode for far too long. That shit didn't stop. Tyrion ends up splitting away from them to look for his siblings who are 100% dead, buried underneath a pile of rubble, holding each other. R.I.P. fan theories, they are not coming back. They're not even zombies. They're just dead. Jon and Davos walk in on Grey Worm executing Lannister guards, showing absolutely no mercy. Dude, you won. There's like no one left to even kill, but you're still doing it. We get a sick shot of Dany as Drogon opens his wings right behind her, creating a powerful imagery of her as a Targaryen, the dragon herself. Officially, we are in full-blown tyrant mode, of course, and Dany delivers a speech to her armies about liberating, conquering the world, believing that everything she's doing is great and everyone else is not. Yep, that sounds like a tyrant, sweets. Yeah, delusional. Tyrion walks up to Dany and says, "I quit," and he throws the hand of the Queen pinned down the stairs. Dany has him arrested for treason for freeing his brother, and Jon just stands there watching like he's been doing this entire season with no true explanation behind his actions, but here we go. Arya teleports to Jon and basically says, "Hey, dude, your queen/lover/aunt is 100% going to kill you." Jon goes to see Tyrion and they have a big, long conversation that basically attempts to explain and justify to the audience how Dany's actions last episode make sense, and how she's always been a tyrant, sort of, I guess. Sure. Dany walks into a destroyed throne room, just like the one in her vision in the House of the Undying, and she slowly approaches the Iron Throne as she finally gets to feel it in her grasp. She got what she wanted. At what cost, though? Jon appears and confronts her about everything that's happened, and Dany tries to justify her actions and tells him to rule with her. This is kind of what he's always wanted. She's actually going in a better direction thinking this, because before it was her show and no one else's. And then while we think that something good could happen, Jon just stabs her mid-kiss. This is probably the most anticlimactic and underwhelming moment, because yep, she's gone. That's it. Dunzo. No chance for redemption. His actions don't even make sense. He loved her and he's been blindly following her this whole time, but sure. We get a small time skip forward and suddenly Tyrion is dragged into a meeting with some of the key players in great houses left standing in Westeros. They first talk about the consequences that Jon and Tyrion should face for killing Dany. Yeah, you know what? Jon totally bitched out and just said, "Yeah, it was me. Sorry. Whoops. There you go." And then they talk about who should rule over the Seven Kingdoms. But here we have Edmure. You remember him, the Tully, who totally got kidnapped for a whole season? He tries to make a pitch to be king, but is immediately shut down by Sansa because, lol, grown-ups are talking here, buddy. Sam suggests democracy, but the lords are like, lol, we ain't that progressive. And then Tyrion, who for some reason is basically commanding the entire room despite being a prisoner, nominates Bran. Yeah, Bran, even though this whole time he was fighting for Dany. And then Jon, out of nowhere, we get a Bran card played. Why? Because of stories. Bran, who confessed that he doesn't even want anymore. Okay, consistency. Who needs it? Look, we're confused too, but maybe this is what George R.R. Martin had in mind, or at least in his Spark Notes, being like, so everyone says aye for Bran to be king. Sansa refuses, though, so she can keep her promise to the northern houses to keep them free. The North officially becomes an independent nation that needs no man. Bran punishes Tyrion by making him Hand of the King. That makes sense. So he can fix all the problems that he caused. And then they all send Jon to the Wall to appease Grey Worm and the Unsullied army, even though they all asked Jon to get rid of Dany. And what's loyalty, you know? Actually, why did he even come out to be a Targaryen? That led to nothing. In fact, Bran being the three-eyed raven, that was all for nothing. Anyway, Bran's king. We get a glimpse into the dynamics of him and his council, which includes Tyrion, Hand of the King, Davos, Master of Ships, Bronn, Master of Coin, Sam, Archmaester, and Brienne, Captain of the Guard. The finale ends with a montage between Jon, Arya, and Sansa as they embark on their new lives. Sansa officially becoming the Queen of the North, Arya sailing for the West to discover America, and Jon's finally heading beyond the Wall with his wildlings and Ghost, who finally got his good boy pats. Honestly, that is the only good thing that happened this episode. He got scritches. Anyway, what would you rate this finale on a scale from sad boy Drogon to good boy Ghost pats? Who really won the Game of Thrones? Also, what the hell happened to Winter? I guess it's just Ash now. Anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe. And thank you so much for following our recaps on this final season of Game of Thrones. Let's hug it out in the comments. Our watch has ended.